What was I saying? Welcome to tonight's restorative
Could be.
fascia release class. If you are unmuted, go ahead and mute yourself so that you're not on my recording. But we can talk after, of course. I did put a playlist on Apple Music in the chat. If you don't see it, I'm going to copy this again. Let's see, copy, and I'll paste again. Okay. And that way, if you want to play some music, you can play it from Apple Music. Sorry, I did not have a chance to put it on Spotify yet, but I will by next week. So yeah, so you can queue up some music, and it doesn't have to be in my playlist. It could be anything you want to listen to, or if you don't want to listen to any music at all, that's fine too. But to get started, you'll be seated on. No, you're not going to be seated. I want you to have a pillow, kind of like mine. It doesn't have to be a bolster, but maybe something kind of long or just like a bunch of stacked up blankets or something. But we want something that's going to be kind of the length of your torso to support you, preferably from your torso to your head so that your head has something to lay on. But if not, just be creative. Just kind of stack stuff together. And then once you have your pillow or blankets or everything that you want, go ahead and put it long ways away from you. So you've got the short end between the legs, and you've got the long end kind of going long in front of you. And then your knees are far apart, but your big toes are touching. And then go ahead and play the playlist if you want to play it or whatever music you want to play. Then start to walk your hands on top of your stack of blankets or pillows or whatever you've got and make yourself as long as possible on top of all of the things. And once you get there, you can either put your forehead on it or you can bring one cheek to it or the other. And then just let yourself totally melt into the pillow or blankets or whatever that you have underneath you. I want you to notice if you are gripping in your face. So check in with your brow, check in with your jaw. And then I want you to use your breath, so big belly breaths, and imagine that you're sending your breath to your face to let go and release it. And then start to check in with your neck and shoulders. And again, using your breath, taking a deep breath to the belly. Exhale with a sigh to release your neck and shoulders into the ground, into the pillow. And continue with that deep breath, breathing in through the nose. You can breathe out with your nose or your mouth, but always inhale with the nose. And see if you can make your exhale longer than your inhale. Soften the body, soften your face. And tell yourself, I am relaxing. If you have one cheek on your pillow, you can now switch sides. That way we balance both sides. Take a couple more breaths on this side. And then you can start to walk your hands in towards your body as you roll yourself up to a kneeling seat. And then you can move this pillow or blankets, whatever you have, off to the side. And just come to all fours just for a moment. We're going to take a few cat and cows and take some hip circles or hip rocks side to side. So you'll drop the belly, look forward. And as you exhale, bring your chin to chest as you round the spine. Keep moving with your breath. Inhale to drop the belly, look forward. Exhale to round through the spine, chin to chest. A couple more times on your own. And then if you want, take a couple of hip circles or send those hips side to side. Moving slowly, feeling all the feels from this week, because goodness gracious, this week has been hard on the back and posterior chain, back of the legs. Okay, so from this position, you're going to make sure that you have your pillows or your blankets nearby because you will need them. We're going to go into a little back bend, so we're doing a sphinx. So to get into that, we're going to come all the way to the belly, and then you're going to slide your hands in front so that you are on your elbows. Your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. And this might just be where you are today. You don't have to use any sort of props, but if you want props, you can use a blanket or a pillow. So for me, for example, I'm going to take a blanket that's folded up, put it underneath it on my chest to give me a little bit more cushion and support here, and it kind of helps me to feel like I'm not doing as much work here because I don't want to be in so much, doing a lot of action in this pose. I want to allow myself to rest as much as possible. So feel free to use the support that you want and stack it as much as you want to. The more that you have a stack of pillows or blankets underneath your chest, the more of a back bend you're going to get. So make it as low to the ground or as high up as you want, as long as you don't have any sort of pain in your low back. Another way to release any sort of low back tension or pain is to widen the legs. So you'll see my legs are wider than the mat, but it's up to you and how you're feeling. The whole point is to be able to soften into this, to not feel like you're exerting so much energy, and you're allowing yourself to just soften. And then once you get into this, your head, you can just stare down to the floor. You can look forward if that feels okay and it doesn't put too much strain on your neck. Or you can just let your head hang completely heavy, or even use a block or another pillow or blanket for your forehead. Lots of different options here. Be creative, but the whole point is to get into a place where you can completely relax and let yourself go so that your gravity is doing the work for you. Keep breathing deeply here, relaxing through your face, your neck and shoulders. Let your feet just flop. If you're tensing anywhere else, like in your glutes or hamstrings, just let it go. Over time, you may notice that your body feels like it's melting a little bit more, kind of just releasing. And that's the whole point of this practice, is allowing time to help the body to release. This is not about intensity. We get plenty of intensity in CrossFit. This is about time and letting go. Three more breaths. And then if you have some support under your head, you can just push it out of the way. If you have support underneath you, just gently roll to your side, tucking your knees and stacking them, and then push all of your support to the side of your mat. And then from this little side position that you're in, you're going to come back to your belly. Let your right leg go long behind you, and your left leg, you're going to bring it up by your side. So you have this 90-degree angle. It's opening up through your hip flexor here. And just let your head rest on your hands. You can stack your hands on the floor, put your forehead on them, or you could put a pillow there or a blanket if you want instead. We're just going to hold this here for a couple of moments, kind of releasing through that inner thigh into the hip and low back. Let the foot just flop. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale fully. And breathe naturally. All right, now take that leg that is off to the side and extend it long back behind you. Bend both knees and windshield wipe your legs side to side. Again, not super intense, just where you feel some sensation. We're just releasing here. And then extend your legs long behind you once more. Keep your left leg long this time. Bend that right leg in towards the side, creating that 90-degree angle off to the side. Let your feet kind of just flop and opening up that hip, opening up that inner groin, that inner thigh. If you feel any sort of pinching or tingling or numbing, then that's a sign that it's too intense. So you need to back out of it and come back to a place where you feel sensation, but there's no pain or there's no tingling or any of that. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale with a sigh. And now gently send that leg back long to meet the other one. Bend those legs again and windshield wipe them side to side a few times. Then let them flop back down so you're flat on your belly. And then guide yourself to your back. So flip onto your side and onto your back. And shimmy your way back to the center of your mat. Once you're there, grab your pillow. Where's mine? Mine is right behind me. All right, and you're gonna put your pillow, or if you have yoga blocks, you're gonna put them under your feet. So your feet are elevated up on your blocks or pillows or whatever you've got, or blankets, whatever. Okay, so once you're here, you've got your feet planted, your knees are bent, your hands are down by the sides. Extend your right leg long up to the ceiling, cross it over the left, and then take your right hand and gently press into the inner thigh to open up that hip a little bit more. You can stay here. If you want more, and this is not going to cause you any sort of pain, then you'll lift that left foot up off of your block or pillow or whatever you have. And then you're going to take your hands, right hand goes in the space between both legs, your left hand wraps around the outside of the left thigh, and you interlock your fingers behind the thigh. Just really think about, though, I want to make sure that your sacrum is down towards the floor, so that tailbone is kind of pointing towards the opposite wall, and both shoulders are down on the floor as well as you gaze up at the ceiling. You can close your eyes if that feels okay, or you can just find a spot to just stare at with a softened gaze. And as I mentioned before, only go to the edge that you're not feeling any sort of pain, no tingling, no pinching. Just where you feel sensation. When you feel that sensation, it's working. Soften your face, soften your neck and shoulders. And return your awareness to your breath. My dog is not happy that I'm in here, so you'll hear him barking in the background. Couple more breaths on this side. And if you have your leg lifted with your hands interlocked behind the thigh, go ahead and release that. And then uncross your leg. That leg that you've uncrossed, let it stay up towards the ceiling and give yourself some ankle circles one way and then the other. Wiggle your toes. And then you can return that foot back down to the yoga blocks or the pillow that you have in front of you. This time we're going to lift that left leg up towards the ceiling, cross it over the right. Notice how it's feeling here. Take that left hand, press into the thigh, and this might be where you stay for this variation. If you want to take this a little bit more, a little bit deeper, you're going to lift that right foot off of your pillow or blanket or blocks. Take the left hand into the space between both legs, right hand wraps around the thigh, interlock your fingers behind the thigh. Keep your tailbone down. Keep your shoulder blades down. Gaze up at the ceiling. You can close the eyes if you want to. And come back to your breath. Remembering all of the signals that tell you you're going a little bit too far. No tingling, no pain. Just a sensation to your own edge. Notice again how as you hold this over time, feels like the body starts to melt a little bit more, like it just releases. Just want you to notice that. That's your body feeling like, oh, it's safe to relax. It's safe to let go. And that's the key to this whole thing, is giving the body time. Time to breathe deeply and just wait. Wait for it to do the job of letting go. Two more breaths. If you have your hands interlocked behind the thigh, let go. Let that foot fall back down onto your stack of blocks or pillows or whatever. Take that leg that's crossed, extend it up towards the ceiling. Take those ankle circles one way and then switch, going back the other way. Wiggle your toes. Take a big yawn. And then you can bring both feet back down on that pillow and then just scoot it off to the side. Put all your props over the side. Okay. Now, that pillow on the side, make sure it's next to your legs, but it's next to your body as well. We're going to take a spinal twist. So we're going to use that pillow or blanket or whatever you have as a support. So you're going to extend the arms off to the side to a T. If you have anything in the way, push it off. And then start to send your knees over to the right or wherever your pillows went. I don't know which side you push them off to, but wherever it is, you're going to send the knees over to that side. And then the top leg, you're going to extend it and just let it rest on top of it. You can put it under your leg wherever you feel the most support. Think about keeping the shoulders down on the floor. Gaze can either be up at the ceiling or over to the opposite hand. So wherever your leg is going, your gaze goes the opposite way. And just breathe here. Soften your face. Soften your shoulders. Breathe deeply. If you feel like over time you could get into this a little bit more deeply, then that leg that's on the bottom, you can actually heel toe it over to the opposite side of your mat, bringing that hip a little bit further underneath your body, taking you deeper into the twist. So that pelvis is now tilting a little bit more, but only go again to the point at which you feel sensation, but no pain, no tingling, no pinching. We'll take one more breath on this side. And then start to take that top leg, bend it to meet that bottom leg. Shimmy your hips over back to the center of your mat. Hug those knees in, roll that low back on the floor a couple of times. And then take that support, the props that you have, and now push them over to the other side. Once they're there, you let your knees fall over to the side that you have your props. Stack your hips, extend that top leg, let it fall on top of your props. Adjust as needed. Arms open up to a T, make sure that your shoulders are both down on the floor. Keep your gaze either up at the ceiling or you can look over to the opposite arm or opposite hand. Want to take it a little bit deeper, you can take that bottom foot and heel toe it to the opposite side, taking yourself into a little bit of a deeper twist. 3 more breaths. And then when you're ready, start to unwind. So bringing your gaze up to the ceiling if it's not already there. Bringing that top leg to meet the bottom leg. Tucking the feet right back under. Bringing those hips back to the center of your mat. Hug your knees into your chest and roll from side to side. Feel that low back massage. And then take anything else you want to take before we come into our little final rest here. But if you're ready to take Shavasana, resting pose, we're going to take your pillows or blankets, put them under your knees for support. And then if you have anything else, like another blanket, you can put it over your body, you could put it on your belly. If you put additional weight on your belly, it signals to the body that you are resting. It activates the parasympathetic part of the nervous system, which is the rest and digest, which is the whole point of this practice, is to relax and let go. Once you're there, close the eyes if that feels okay, or just keep your gaze up at the ceiling with a soft gaze and just breathe. Couple more breaths. And then start to awaken the body by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Extend your arms long up overhead, stretching from your fingers down to your toes. And then roll on to one side. Resting your head on your arm, knees come in towards the chest. Give yourself a moment of gratitude for taking this time for yourself. To let go, release, rest, and restore. Use your hands to gently guide yourself up to a seat. You can keep your eyes closed or you can have a soft gaze. Hands can either be in your lap or at your heart. Take a deep breath in and let it go with a sigh. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me tonight, my friends. The light in me loves and honors the light in you. Namaste.